Welcome back to Sam's Garage, presented by NHOU. Sam has a customer's Ford F-150 in the garage to get all new front suspension parts. The truck has over 100,000 miles and is in need of a refresh. Luckily, Mevotech has the answer with their front suspension kit, so this pickup will ride better than it did the day it rolled off the assembly line.
Man, 150,000 miles. That bolster on the seat needs some work too. But today we're going to be concentrating on the front end. This is Buddy's truck from State Collision Center, Ford F-150 four-wheel drive. It's got front independent double wishbone suspension, and it needs a new complete overhaul. We've got bearings, we've got upper control arms, lower control arms, sway bar end links, and tie rods. This is going to run like new when we're done. Today we're going to be replacing all the front end suspension on this Ford truck. The upper control arm, bearing, the sway bar end link, tie rod end, and the lower control arm, all with Mevotech parts. Procedure I'm going to do is, this thing's got a spacer in the front, a leveling kit. I'm going to remove the upper arm, disconnect my ABS line, pull this back, pull off my brake caliper and my rotor, making this a lot lighter, disconnect my tie rod, disconnect my sway bar, remove the knuckle. Then I'm going to tackle the shock because the bolts go in towards the shock, so the shock's got to come out. Then I'm going to remove the lower arm and the upper arm and go all back with new parts. What keeps me coming back to Mevotech is their quality. With the greasable patented control bearing, allows you to grease those bearings or the joints, keep them tight and keep them lasting that much longer. The Repel-TEK anti-corrosion, like you saw me show you on the bearing, keeps that bearing rust-free and looking good forever. The patented locking dust boot, that is awesome. Sometimes those dust boots is the reason why there is premature failure on the joint. You don't want that. And that cotter pin is awesome because you don't need any tools and you can put them on and on with just your fingers. Their attention to detail shows in their packaging. They secure all their products so that nothing gets damaged when they're on their way to you. That's why I love to always come back to Mevotech. Julie and I have everything stripped down. That's really the easiest way to do it. We're going to go back with all the new Mevotech parts in reverse procedure as we took it down. One thing you have to make sure is these are rubber bushings, not urethane. So in the same manner, if you guys remember when I took it out, it rested right there. Okay? The reason why it rests right there is because at ride height, that's where it lives, so it goes up and down in its normal travel. If you tighten it here, or if you tighten it there, you're going to bind the rubber. It's going to fight against itself, it's going to break prematurely, and it's going to keep the truck from being level on the front end. Main thing is these bolts go in from the inside, so the strut lives there, and the strut has to go in after the upper control arm goes in. Suspensions have come sealed, meaning there are no grease fittings, except for maybe on some tie rods on some certain trucks. Everything on this was sealed. With Mevotech, they give you grease fittings and cotter pins. There were no cotter pins on this to begin with. So that's a nice little peace of mind safety and knowing that you can grease up your joints and get a lot more longer life out of them. Grease fittings on the sway bar end links as well. The cool thing about the end links is they are a solid piece of metal with two joints on each side versus the multi-links, bushings, washers that we're all used to. That makes for a lot stiffer sway bar end link, and it's going to allow the sway bar to work that much better. You guys loosen the jam nut to put the outer tie rod in. Don't forget to tighten it. Two reasons. One, it'll back off and could mess up toe. And the second reason is the guy at the alignment shop's going to make fun of you. You don't want that. I know Buddy's going to love his truck. That was a lot of work, but well worth it. Really, it takes about 3 to 4 hours, 2 hours inside. Anytime you guys are working on your car or truck, always take a look at the maintenance. This is the perfect time to look and see if you need brake pads, if there are any leaks. I got an axle shaft leaking on the left side. I got the oil pan gasket leaking. Buddy doesn't even know this. So he's going to find out, he's going to get them fixed, and it'll keep on trucking.